Travelers. The coffee's hot! The signal is coming through. It's time for morning dive and a coffee! Woo! Wake up screaming through the morning haze. Sun's coming up on the old highway. Chrome shining bright on a brand new day. Pull into the diner, take a seat inside. Coffee on the table, join us for the ride. Caffeinated frequencies, it's just right. Neon signs glowing in the morning sun. Another day starting, another adventure's begun. There's a cowboy broadcasting from far away with 1,000-year story to tell today. Cowboy Dan signal crosses the line from the year 3020 back through time. A head in a jar with a dream to share. Sending stories through the digital air. Morning dive and a coffee. Pull up a chair and spend some time. Morning dive and a coffee. Pour another cup, let the conversation roll. Memories, new stories, and a curious soul. From the open road to the edge of the sky, we're taking the dive, so come along for the ride. Morning dive and a coffee. Fuel the machine and ignite the day. Morning dive and a coffee. Around the corner comes the morning's crew. Familiar faces with a story or two. Dollar bin Dan's got treasures to share. Comic book memories floating through the air. Flipping through pages, chasing the past. Finding old heroes that forever last. From classic adventures and legends untold to the stories that made us brave and bold. Around this Route 66 diner table we meet with coffee, laughter, and a front row seat. No map required, no road signs needed. Just follow the stories wherever they're leading. From the cartoon realm where the impossible lives, to the future where the signal still gives. A little bit cowboy, a little bit strange. 1,000 years later, some things never change. The wheels keep turning, the radio plays. We're chasing memories through the highways. Morning dive and a coffee. Pull up a chair and spend some time. Morning dive and a coffee. Coffee cups shaking, the jukebox sings. Talking about heroes and forgotten things. Through every story, every laugh, every mile, the morning keeps rolling with a classic style. Morning dive and a coffee. Join the ride and stay a while. Morning dive and a coffee. The coffee is hot. This is morning dive and a coffee.
Hey, howdy, hey, boys and girls. KJCowboyDan here, and once again, joined alongside by the one and only Dollar Bin Dan. And we have some comic book news for you today, and a lot of regular everyday morning chat to go along with your coffee this morning. Hi, Dan, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, Cowboy. How you been?
Oh, been sucking down coffee all morning. So what do you think about the new opening credit? I added you in there into the song.
That's very cool, man. Nobody's ever sung a song about me before.
Oh,
Are you listening, wife?
I wish I could sing. I wish I could sing. I'm going to send you a copy of the song itself. You know, you can put it on your MP3 player. I also changed up the, added some new animations to the opening credits. Have you driving down Route 66 in your red 1950 Chevrolet pickup?
I do love me a classic pickup.
Gotta, as long as it's not 52 card, I'm okay with it. I'm stuck in a jar. I don't have hands, you see. So, pick up any, get any interesting finds at the comic book shop this week or anything?
Actually, I did go rooting through the dollar bin just yesterday. Came up with some
Ooh,
Superman comics that I haven't gotten around to reading yet. But I also picked up some new stuff, some Absolute Green Arrow and Superman Father of Tomorrow.
Superman Father of Tomorrow. I'm not familiar with that title.
It's a Elseworlds miniseries where instead of Kal-El
Ah,
coming to Earth in the rocket ship, it's Jor-El. So instead of baby Kal-El coming to Earth and becoming Superman, it's a adult Jor-El, his father.
oh, okay. Right on, right. I like a lot of the Elseworld stuff. Sometimes the Elseworld stuff has some pretty good storylines, and then sometimes I'm just like, what am I reading?
Sometimes there's a reason they didn't go with that direction in the story.
My favorite Elseworlds is the I want to say Gaslight series, but that's not right.
Gotham by Gaslight.
Yeah, Gotham by Gaslight. I guess it is Gaslight. Gotham by Gaslight. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah. I
the
liked that
Batman
one.
Lovecraft.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kind of had somewhat of a like when like the art kind of reminded me like itself. I mean, the story wasn't, but the art kind of reminded me of like what if Batman took place at the Phantom of the Opera? That's what the art reminded me of.
I can see that.
Yeah, and then I thought to myself after I read that, it'd probably be a good topic. I mean, well, a good thing. I'd read that. The Batman of the Opera.
I wonder if they've done that.
Have Catwoman. I don't. That'd be interesting if they did. I know they've done a few different Elseworlds. A Western Batman. They've done a Western Batman a few times.
They got Samurai Batman and
Oh man, that was a good one. Yeah.
Aztec Batman. Now, well, I gotta say, now they've done this with toy lines where they mash up popular characters in classic stories. Like they've got Conan the Barbarian, Ninja Turtles, and stuff like that.
Right. Right.
So I could totally see them doing a series of comics where they put comic characters into classic stories, like putting Batman in Phantom of the Opera, or putting, let's say, Catwoman in a Les Mis.
Oh, I think I'd watch that. Yeah, I'd read that and I definitely would watch it. I kind of want to see Bruce Wayne as Batman singing instead of brooding.
Oh, there's actually
An operatic Batman.
there's a Justice League Unlimited episode just for you then.
Oh, is there? I must have missed that one.
Yep, Batman and Zatanna
And
go undercover at a nightclub.
me and Kingstyle were up until probably about 4:30 this morning talking about Justice League.
The Bruce Timm show.
We were talking about yeah, yeah. And we were talking about how like we're talking about the Flash instead of it being Barry. Like sometimes we felt that there's a few episodes that felt like it was instead of Barry, it was Kid Flash, but it wasn't. But he was in Flash's outfit.
Well, to be fair, the Flash in all of the Justice League shows was Wally.
Wally, was it a Wally?
Mhm.
That's right. Yeah.
They never really.
So yeah, it was Wally. So that would have been Kid Flash, right? Wasn't Wally Kid Flash?
Yep, he was Kid Flash before he was Flash.
Yeah.
Which
I liked him in Young Justice. Kind of like him being Young Flash.
yeah, Young Justice was a great show for the first 2 seasons. I never watched the third and fourth seasons that they put out. from what I heard, the show.
I think I watched the entire series. I think I watched the entire series on the WB, on the not the WB, but Warner Brothers' streaming network.
Mhm. I heard it kind of lost its momentum because there was a pretty big gap in between season 2 and 3, and I heard the show kind of lost a little bit of its story momentum.
Yeah, there was a change in the feel of the story as well.
Oh yeah,
Now we were talking about Elseworlds, and I had found this image last night, and I thought it was funny as heck because I always talk about how like when something's canon or something in DC, then all of a sudden it's not canon. You're like, so where do I put that? Do I put it in the Elseworlds? Do I where do I put it? Right? You know, when it was canon, no, it's no longer canon. Elseworlds are typically just those like non-canon third-party stories and all, but um you know, where do you put it once once it's no longer canon and they decide to retcon like a major retcon or something?
well, you put it in your head canon.
Yeah, I put it in my head canon. Yeah, and I aggravate people when I go, yeah, this is hey, you know what? This is what the comic book said back in 1998. You know, and Superman had himself a mullet.
That's true, and technically these days. You'd have to do that with the entire Golden and Silver Age because
Yeah,
DC kind of erased everything pre-Crisis.
yeah. They did that whole New 52. Not a big fan of it. Well, you know, I mean, they got good storylines. Just not a big fan because like New 52 changed everything up. So I found this the Superboy image with different Superboy, and
Is that Manchester Black?
and yeah, I think so. Um I think it is. At least. Anyhow, it says, wouldn't those retcons be bloody cool? Make much more interesting, right? That's my kind of superhero type. You know, I think about this kind of often. A lot of retcons could be cool, but I'm not a big fan of retcons myself. Then Superboy responds back, "Those are Elseworlds, you ass." You just want things to be grimdark for grimdark's sake. You know, I like that, you know. Like when people talk to me about like canon that's like not my canon, you know, that they changed it up or something. I just like that's Elseworlds. You can't convince me that that's canon.
Yep. You got your head
And
canon and your head
I
Elseworlds.
saw that. Yes, yeah, you know, and so, like, I mean, I like that DC created the Elseworlds. While like I said, some of the storylines are much better. And then like they decanonize something, so I'm like, do I put it in the Elseworlds? Do I just like go, okay, this is canon, but they just rebooted the universe. Flash ran too fast yet once again.
I got to tell you, I used to try to keep my physical collection organized like that. Like I tried to keep my Superman comics in the Triangle era order.
Okay.
And
how'd that work out for you?
It became an absolute nightmare to try to find anything. Because instead of just being able to go by alphabetical order by the title and then goes right to the issue number, I've got to figure out where it fell during the Triangle era. So instead of, alphanumeric organization, it was just all chronological, and just finding anything became a nightmare.
That's how I do my Marvel comics, is kind of like instead of alphanumeric, if I'm reading a line and it says, by the way, you should have read this issue of this right here to find out what's going on here. Read Spider-Man number blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, wait, hold on a second. So I missed a piece?
Oh yeah. Oh,
because it crossed over into another line. So I have to go from X-Men to Spider-Man, then to Avengers, then back to X-Men or whatever, because part of the story crossed over into another line.
I was apoplectic last week. So I've told you that I spent years putting my Starman collection together out of dollar bins.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
going to read it until I finished the collection. So when I finished it, I finally sat down and read all 80 issues. And I got about halfway through it, and there's a story that crosses over with Shazam. And the end of that little crossover was in a Shazam comic. So I spent all this time getting those comics in order to sit down and read them all. And there's two parts of the story I'm missing because they crossed over with another comic. You should have heard me ranting at my wife about that little inconvenience.
I'm sorry. I've had that experience, and my ex-wife, would always tell me that I'm yelling about a child's plaything, and or I feel sorry for your wife. I do, because I put my ex-wife through that several times.
Yeah, she just
I was
looked at me and
supposed to
shook her
read
head
this
and
issue.
said,
I don't
talk
even
about
have that
first world
issue.
problems.
First world problems. It is a serious problem when I've missed out on a piece of my storyline because it crossed over with a line I don't read or whatever.
Exactly. Now I've got to
And
go
then
and start
you
collecting
go
the power of Shazam.
yeah, just for 2 issues. And then you're gonna go like, well, now I got to read all of Power of Shazam so I can know what's going on there
Exactly. And then
in
that's going
order
to
to
cross
know
over with
what
something else. It's almost
why.
like they plan that to get you to buy other comics.
Yeah, yeah.
But they
See,
would
this
never
is
be so
the
crazy with it.
this is that's the problem with not crossover universes, but shared universes. When you have like a whole bunch of characters, and I think DC and Marvel were kind of smart with this, especially once they go, wait, you know what? Um, these are no longer just fun little comics that the kids used to buy and roll up and put in their back pocket and read it and trade it. Now we have you growing up through the ages reading these things and going, we can put these characters together. We're going to have like multiple comics and a whole bunch of stuff. Why is Spider-Man over there? What did I miss? And now you're going to have to read like the 8 issues before that just to understand why Spider-Man all of a sudden showed up in New York, or well, not New York, but upstate New York, over in Westchester, because that teenage kid doesn't drive.
Yeah. And I got to tell you,
or
that falls in line with one of my
what's that?
favorite things about comics, like Marvel and DC especially. Those are universes, and I mean literal universes, that have been running
Mm-hmm.
contiguously for like 60, 70 years.
Yeah.
And so I can drop into any corner of that universe. I can read stories that take place on Earth. I can read stories that take place in the Kree Empire, the Skrull Empire, the past, the future. There's all these windows that you can use to drop into that universe just at any point. And I think that's
Yeah.
freaking awesome.
Oh yeah. And it's a great hook too. Like you get one of these that you start to read and you like it, and then you go, oh, hold on a second. Just in one storyline, after reading a couple issues, you realize that universe expanded from not just some overpopulated part of New York City with a bunch of supers, but now you have the West Coast Avengers, and you have stuff going on in like different parts of the country, and or when you're reading Superman, then you realize when you're a kid, oh wait, hold on a second, Superman crosses over with Batman before, like and they did that a couple of times, even back in the 60s and 70s,
Oh,
and
Batman and
probably
Superman were always in each other's books.
yeah, it's like, okay, we're gonna create these universes, and then they decide to throw in alien planets as well, like with Marvel and the Kree Empire, and and Galactus, and I was a big fan of the Silver Surfer with Marvel. A lot of people disagree with me because the Silver Surfer is one of my favorite characters. Like I
Same.
like how he's kind of like a loner, and like he like all the things that he's saying, he's just thinking them because he's by himself in friggin' space, dude.
I know he can go anywhere, see anything. That would be kind of a cool gig to have.
Oh yeah, minus the whole finding worlds for the keeper of the maker, your virtual recreator to eat worlds. I think that'd pretty much be a good little life. I
Hey, everything's got a price. You just got to figure out if the juice is worth the squeeze.
I'm a loner myself, so I mean, I get the Silver Surfer. I get like his internal monologuing all the time. I mean, he has nobody to really talk to, and then when he does surf across some asteroid or another planet, like the people that there is to talk to aren't really worth talking to.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got a big chunk of the Volume 3 collection in my Volume 3 series in my collection. And did you know that's where the entire Infinity Saga spun out of, is the Silver Surfer comics?
Yeah. Yeah. That was
A lot of
why I
people
liked the
sleep on
Infinity
Silver
Saga,
Surfer.
because oh yeah, they did. That's why I liked the Silver Surfer, and I was also very disappointed with what they did with the Infinity Saga. Just they could have just waited a few years and gotten a hold of Fox, and then did the Infinity Saga for Marvel. Now, well, we have to wait for this whole new Marvel reboot to redo the Infinity Saga.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they'll probably do something. Hopefully, they'll get away from that because there's a lot of big space events that didn't involve the Infinity Gems, like the Kree Skrull War, a whole bunch of other things. So hopefully, they find new directions to go.
Yeah, hopefully they
I'd
do.
love to see them bring Galactus into the MCU.
Now, with the storyline that they went in with the MCU already, I think they kind of like jumped past the Kree Skull War, like
That's
unless they do it like as a prequel series, because they jumped past that, didn't they?
I don't know. They've done very little with the Kree or the Skrulls. The Skrulls basically showed up, and the Kree showed up, I think, in Captain Marvel movies and
Yeah, the Captain Marvel movies.
some of the TV stuff they did.
They yeah, they were referenced. They were referenced with the Destroyer, not the Destroyer. Uh, what's his name? The guy with the giant cane hammer. In Guardians of the Galaxy, they also were then they went heavily into them on Captain Marvel.
That's yes, Ronan. That's right.
Yeah, Ronan. Thank you.
Yeah, he was in
Couldn't think
Guardians.
of his name right off the bat.
I forgot how
No, he
much
was
they
in
dealt with the
Guardians.
Kree. Also, Agents of Shield dealt with the Kree a lot, but I don't think they dealt with the Kree Skrull War.
No, they didn't. Pretty much. I think like with the Kree though, with Agents of Shield, it was just to kind of introduce the Inhumans.
That's right. Boy, you talk about a
Yeah, they used
spectacular
it
fail.
as
Was that Inhumans show?
yeah. I had so much hope for Agents of Shield, especially since they kind of like did what I wanted them to do and was like the standard comic book trope of somebody's not dead. I mean, A- Agent Coulson back alive, and I kind of liked the storyline that they turned him into kind of like a replicant
Mhm.
type of thing.
Oh, the
Well, it
whole
wasn't a
Hydra
replicant.
hiding
It
in
was a
Shield thing. That was a great storyline
oh
because you had a couple of
with
characters.
Lady Hydra.
Hmm.
Yeah, they kind of dropped the ball on Lady Hydra though. What they did to her, but yeah, oh man, I absolutely loved it, and plus that kind of it went perfectly. The Hydra hiding in Shield went perfectly along with the movies for a minute, like they were going nice alongside the movies.
Yep. Which one of the things that infuriated me back at the time was that the comics weren't doing more to synergize with the movies. Because you had Steve Rogers as Captain America in the movies, but at the time, Sam Wilson was Captain America in the comics. And I think Thor was Jane
Right.
Foster in the comics at the time. And so what you saw on the page in the comics at the time did not reflect what was on the screen. And I think Marvel made a big mistake by not trying to capitalize on that.
Right. They should have retconned the comics and rolled back time a little bit so that way it would that they could have made the comics go alongside with the movies. Um there would have been some excuse for a good retcon. While I'm not a big fan of retcons, I think that would have worked out a little bit better. Um Plus I know that as a fan of like comic book movies, one of the things I really loved about Agents of Shield was that they kind of played along with what the movies were doing, even though the movies didn't play along with what Agents of Shield was doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
There was
Okay,
definitely
we're
a
gonna
hierarchy. You had the movies going in the theater, and then you had the shows kind of picking up the scraps.
right. And Agents of Shield, they were the first couple of seasons. They did pretty good with following along with the movies. They even based their season finales off of what was going to happen in the movies.
Hmm.
I mean, the whole Hydra thing with hiding within Shield. They did they even brought in characters from the movies into the TV series, which I liked.
Yeah, I remember
I mean,
Dum Dum Dugan,
Lady
Aaron
Sif.
Carter being in it.
Yeah. I would have liked to see them do a little bit more with Quake. I liked Quake.
Hmm.
Wasn't a big fan of hers in the comic books, but I liked what they did with her. I I was kind of disappointed, as a bunch of other fans were, that they didn't involve her in the Nick Fury TV series that they did for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping that they'd just take that Nick Fury TV series and kind of like retcon Agents of Shield back into it,
I think the way
considering that
Disney looked
last
at it
season.
was that Agents of Shield took place in the MCU universe, but the MCU universe did not take place in the Agents of Shield universe. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it only flowed
Yeah.
downhill.
Yeah. It did, and that it kind of sucked, really. I mean, in the long run. And with that last two seasons, they go into the future and then they come back. I think in my fan canon, Disney is like, okay, that's now they came back to an alternate universe. They came back to if you were to look at the Loki thing, the way the Loki timelines work, because they changed the way timelines work with from how they described it in the MCU movies. When Banner's sitting there talking to the Sorceress Supreme,
Mhm.
you know, uh, now that's changed on how the timelines work when they did Loki. So, like, I do believe that there is a hierarchy amongst Disney MCU versus the televised stuff. But then again, the Disney MCU does not exactly keep continuity very well. That's one of the things I'm hoping that they're able to fix with the Doomsday movie. I did you watch the trailer yet for that?
Yes, I did. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like they might be able to, as long as as long as the Russo brothers didn't decide just to throw nostalgia at me in this movie, which I like nostalgia. I mean, the whole point of the Marvel universe being Marvel universe is to have all the characters eventually do something, and you know. I hope that they use this movie to tie in those movies and for it not to be as questionable as the leaks I've read. Tomorrow, by the way, I'm for anybody watching here in the VOD later, I will be tomorrow covering the leaks and kind of comparing the leaks to what I saw on the trailer. Now, I was kind of concerned with the leaks at first, but now that I've seen the trailer, I'm less concerned.
Having not read the leaks, was there anything in the trailer that specifically did or did not go along with them?
No, seemed like the trailer did pretty good at going along with it. The leaks kind of didn't lean as heavily into potential incursions amongst the universes. Um, and the leaks also made it seem like the villain was going to be at the beginning of the movie, something that it wasn't. They did not really cover the alleged true villain being Doom and Franklin Richards. But so I don't know if that's going to be a thing. I'm hoping that a lot of the leaks are wrong. The gentleman who covered the leaks originally, he's usually pretty right. He's been the guy's gotten more right regarding Marvel leaks than anybody else. And I'm not opposed to spoilers on things because I always go into a movie anyway with an open mind. You know, I reserve the right to say they ruined my lore after I've seen a movie rather than beforehand. Part of the reason why, like, even though I haven't seen the new Supergirl movie, I'm still gonna judge it when I see it when it comes to streaming.
I'll be interested to hear
With
your thoughts on it when you do see it.
Yeah, I'm worried about it, but you know, and I've never been like with the exception of like the first four Batman movies. I didn't DC movies aren't something I rush to the theaters for. So but Marvel movies on the other hand, with the exception of the Fantastic Four movies, for some reason I missed every single Fantastic Four movie that's ever been released in theaters except for the first one.
It's kind of been diminishing returns since then, to be honest.
Yeah, the first and second one I saw in theaters, but the every other one I missed in theaters. And
we do not speak of the job.
I saw movie. Oh no, we don't. So I have to get on to Disney Plus, or hopefully I think Disney Plus has the current Fantastic Four movie on it.
Yes.
I have to watch that one. I'm also working on a deep dive of the Marvel universe on my own. I've done a complete rewatch of everything Marvel except for the new Fantastic Four movie. So and the two movies that are supposed to be coming out, Spider-Man and the new Avengers movie. So I've been putting together kind of like my idea of how the timeline works. And I've even added a bunch of like legitimate science and whatnot. So it's going to be probably a series, but because it's turned out to be over 17 pages long, and I don't see myself doing. I'm not a video person, so it'll be like just a live breakdown with a whole bunch of notes. Hopefully, it works out. Maybe I'll edit it down later, but haven't even gotten around to even starting it other than writing a whole bunch of notes on like every movie. I even started making a graphic on how I see the timelines turn into a big old knot rather than how Loki shows it with the all the timelines just coming together with like this big old loom
Mm-hmm.
and creating like an ultimate timeline or whatever. And I've created my own graphic. It doesn't look pretty. But yeah.
And there's something like 30 or
So
40
anywho,
movies in the MCU now.
oh, it's huge once you include the movies. But my timeline, my whole build even includes the direct to well, the technically not released Fantastic Four movie from the 80s, the Captain America movie from the early 80s, it, the Nick Fury movie starring uh,
David
uh,
Hasselhoff.
David Hasselhoff,
Yes.
yeah, and the Incredible Hulk series from the late 70s. So I kind of like go back and I look at like a lot of the live action Marvel product that we've had so far and like kind of like build them all together, and these are how all these different universes work and how they would combine normally. And I even include like a fan theory of why there's a David Banner, who's in the 1970s show, why you see Lou Ferrigno in the Incredible Hulk movies as a cameo, and that variant doesn't become Bruce Banner. I've created like little fan theories and whatnot. It's going to be a fun thing when I get around to making it.
Did you notice that when Lou Ferrigno cameoed in both the Ed Norton movie and in the Eric Bana movie, both times he played a security guard?
Both times he played a security guard. Yeah.
So I'm wondering if there's
Yeah.
any kind of significance to that.
That's what I was wondering. I mean, a protector archetype or something. I don't know. If he was like, say, for example, okay, well, call the guy David. I don't know, even know if he had a name tag on or anything, but I'm gonna have to go back and watch just to see if he's wearing a name tag that says David Banner or David on it. Just see if they made further nods to that, because that'd be interesting to see if they did. So I wanted to look at today some of the comic book releases that's coming out. See if we're interested in what they have coming out this week and on the spinner racks.
Alrighty.
And I'm not really much for buying new titles. I stick to the discount dollar bin.
Same here.
But I do like looking. I do like looking at the stuff that they put up on the shelf for this release this month, this week, and see if there's anything that I would be interested in reading, because eventually, I'm probably going to end up getting it. But
Yep.
if funding turns out to go my way,
and if it doesn't,
can't
you just
say
wait
that
for the
it
dollar bin.
always. Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. I can't say that it always does, and I just wait for the dollar bin, and hopefully that issue's worth going to the dollar bin. But so let's take a look at what's being released this week.
I thought I heard
Absolute Wonder Woman. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Action Comics has its 1100th issue this week.
Yeah, Action Comics issue 1100. And I like how their
Those,
Action Comics is using that traditional S. Oh, why did it
yes,
do that? Boom.
the James Gunn
Boom. There
S
we go.
is garbage.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. What's a slash?
Yeah, well, they straight up took that out of Kingdom Come and
Yeah,
just slapped it on Superman just so that James Gunn's S would be unique from everybody else's. But it's not a Superman S. I really don't like it.
another
Although,
reason why they so I read this article about why like Superman's logo keeps changing, and the same with Batman. They slightly change up Batman's logo and Superman's logo. And those are two characters that different versions of the character is about to hit the Mickey Mouse law.
yes,
And changing up the logo is just enough of a change in the art where it keeps the character from going into public domain entirely.
yep. And then as far as the movies go, each movie, every director wants their version of the character to stand out. And so you'll notice that each movie iteration of Batman even has its own logo. And every movie iteration of Superman
Yeah,
has its own distinct logo. They always want their version to stand out.
right. It I'm a traditionalist. I kind of want things to kind of stay as close to the same as possible. And if that version of the character is not about to go into public domain, just keep it. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yep.
And I do also like the fact that Action Comics has stayed to their traditional numbering, no matter uh, how much of the series has been rebooted, especially with the new 52 when they rebooted everything.
Yeah.
And everybody's always going back to that number one issue. First edition issues, number one issues, always do better on the trading on the collector shelves. I don't care.
Well, not when you
Give me a
glut the
legacy
market with
numbering
them.
any day.
But see, that's just it.
Yeah, yeah,
Rarity
no.
is what drives value. If you've got 18 number one issues every 6 months to a
Oh yeah.
year, then it's not going to drive value. It's a stunt. It's going to drive up sales in the short term, but once people catch on to it, it's just not going to carry it long term. You've got to get consistently good
Yeah.
stories if you want to carry a title long term.
Plus, you got somebody like me. I'm not exactly a big fan of rebooting and rebooting and rebooting. Give me a give me a continuous storyline. Give me a continuous legacy count because look at it this way. I want to know what I'm reading when I'm reading, and I don't want to have to go open up the book. And sometimes they put like the little fine print on when it was published and everything at the front of the book. Sometimes they put it at the back of the book. I've even seen them sometimes put it like 6 pages in. The whole all that stuff, and I'm like, no, 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 no. I just let me figure out where this goes in my long box.
Exactly, and that's another thing. If I've got 15 volumes of Amazing Spider-Man, do you have any idea what a pain in the butt that becomes to keep stuff organized or go back and reference it?
Right. And then because I mean from Amazing Spider-Man and then all of a sudden that storyline continues off into Web of Spider-Man. I like it's already hard enough to keep things going as we were talking about earlier when it crosses over into another title. So having like these like renumberings, rebootings, go okay, what happens here? I was reading so far into this, and now I have to do what now? Where am I reading? How am I reading it? Am I reading even the same Action Comics as I was last year? And I'm trying to because I'm missing issues in my collection, and so I have to use fan canon in order to fill the holes. And then I realized halfway through reading it, oh, they just brought it back about 10 years into the storyline because they wanted to do something else.
Marvel has gotten so bad about it that they actually have to print their legacy numbers. So they've got, Amazing Spider-Man number 13 for their, 18th renumbering of Spider-Man. But then they'll have the legacy number. This is actually Amazing Spider-Man issue number 875. So they're so bad about
Let's
it
see if
now
we can
that they're
find an
having.
example of that. I'm trying to see if this has a legacy number on this absolute spider. Oh, it's Superman. Sorry. Let's see. X-Men 32. Yeah, see, X-Men page number 32. Legacy number is 732.
Yep.
Right.
See?
Even that number can't be right, in my opinion. I mean, yeah.
So they want those big numbers, but they
I'm
can't
going to buy it.
Can't quit playing silly buggers.
Yeah, I think they want the small numbers because they think they think that people are more likely going to buy it, especially the younger generation, on top of the collector when they do the reboot. But I mean, it hurts the value if you're one of those investment collectors, which I'm not. I can't afford to be an investment collector. Kind of like the art on this one. Anyhow, like this, like when it comes down to the legacy numbers, I am just give me just keep the line running. Even if you do like a soft reboot or whatever, like Marvel tend to do when they decide to do a full world reboot. Keep your legacy numbers. It just helps the reader.
Has Marvel ever done a full line-wide reboot?
I don't know if it was. I don't think they've done a full line reboot. I think they've. It's been continuous soft reboot after soft reboot. They probably have, though. It makes sense that they probably would have. I know, like with each line, like eventually they've rebooted Spider-Man several times, showing you the origin story of that. And I know that DC's found a way to reboot Superman multiple times. But I don't know if they've done a full line like reboot like everything other than using like Battle Worlds to do it, or like some universal crossover with some of their other stuff. I know that they did a like almost near 50% reboot when they merged over the Ultimate Universe with the 616. Now saying, oh well, really the Ultimate Universe is the 616, but we got these people who were from the original universe that are there. And they keep on rebooting Spider-Man because they want Spider-Man to be eternally young, and they don't like the fact that he grows up.
Yeah, well now he's a 30-year-old
which I kind of don't like because I grew up with Spider-Man.
Yeah, but now they play him as like a 30-year-old guy who doesn't have a job and just sleeps on his friends' couches all the time. He's kind of a loser.
Yeah, I don't like what they did to him there either.
But
yeah,
I mean, Peter's allowed to have some success. I don't know if the current Marvel editorial realizes that.
I think he should grow up to a certain degree and have success. I mean, after all, he's smart. I mean, in past iterations of Spider-Man and Peter Parker, we've had him grow up with, making his own web shooters. We had him get himself a job at the Daily Planet and become a freelance photographer. And we had him intern with Reed Richards, and watched him steal tech from Reed Richards in order to make his web shooters better. You know, really not a good moral of the story, kids. But pretty much Reed Richards would be like, "Yeah, destroy this. We don't need this anymore. We're not going to keep this." And Peter Parker would pocket that tech.
Hey, it's dumpster diving for technology. That's something Peter Parker totally does.
Pretty much. He totally does, I mean, now like those storylines, yeah, and then having doing this Peter Parker turns into a bum, crashing on friends' couches and can't hold down a relationship, and
don't even get me started on that part. Hashtag Team
yeah,
Mary Jane.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, let's get to the point where we can get to the M2 and Mary Jane and Peter Parker have that daughter. I'm one of the only few people who ever rooted for that storyline to be like canon.
That was a popular story. I think that was supposed to be a 6-issue miniseries that turned into an ongoing series that had its own spin-off titles. That book was a huge success story.
But now when you talk to people about it, they're like, "Yeah, no, it's the M2. We don't talk about the M2. Come on, let's talk about the M2 for a bit." I love that. That's a good time. That's a good cover for the Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man. Kind of traditional. What are you doing? Come on.
They're coming up on the 1000th issue of Amazing, aren't they?
Yeah, this is issue Legacy issue 997. Wow.
So yeah, by the end of the year,
that's a nice cover. I kind of like that cover.
Yeah, that is good.
I think that they've done this cover before, like a version of this before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it looks like but it's very classic looking.
Yeah, Spider-Man's always lifting stuff he has no business lifting.
Yeah. You gotta prove that he's a spider, able to lift 8 times his body weight. Or whatever.
Well, let's see. 8 times
the
body weight of a standard human being would be about 1,600 pounds. That's less than a ton.
Let's see. How much can a spider lift? Let's see, because if he's truly got the ability of a spider, so a standard spider can lift a basket weight capacity between 425 pounds to 500 pounds, which is designated to safely lift 1 to 2 workers. I don't know if that's right, but hey, let's see how much Spider-Man can lift. That's probably a better. How much can Spider-Man lift? Spider-Man's baseline lifting capacity in the comics is officially listed at 10 to 25 tons. Wow. Allowing him to easily toss cars and handle construction equipment. However, it highly stresses his adrenaline. He has pushed his limits to 50 to 100, sometimes even. So yeah, he sometimes stresses his adrenaline limit to push himself to lift 50 to 100 tons. And the comic books, though, are not exactly, according to the wiki, the comic books are not exactly, what the word it's using is not exactly very regular on what it says he can lift. Sometimes he's got like superhuman strength even for Spider-Man. Now he's able to lift 3,000 tons in the Tom Holland Spider-Man, and the ability to stop a train, as seen in the original Spider-Man movies made by Sam Raimi. So, which would have probably killed him in the comic books. Okay.
Yeah, that
So
would have
there we
straight up
go.
ripped one of his
He's
arms out of his
able to,
bucket.
yeah. His baseline is 10 to 25 tons.
That's nothing to sneeze at.
No, I think my baseline of anything, I know, well, since all the surgeries, my baseline's like 25 pounds, barely lift my cat.
I want to say, I think I've got some like early handbooks of the Marvel Universe that put Spider-Man like maxing out at 5 tons.
Yeah, I don't think they keep their Bible very accurate.
I think that they've steadily increased the power levels of every character in comics just because in the real world, mechanically, we do stuff that's a lot more impressive. So we need our fictional characters to keep kind of stepping it up. Like originally, Superman was not
This
nearly as strong
issue
as he is
has
now, but now he can like juggle planets.
this issue has alt covers.
Oh yeah, that's another thing.
Bag on
That's
the
great,
head, Peter Parker.
this
Yeah,
the bombastic bag man.
bag covers. Yeah. So these alternate covers, they're
Hey, are you
great
using Comic
ways
Geeks?
for me to go take my money. I'm using a League of Comic Geeks. Yeah.
I that's the same app I have
Yeah.
on my phone to keep my collection organized.
Yeah. They actually have a thing where you can organize your collection too. Yeah.
Yep.
I am a big fan though of alt covers.
See, I'm not. I think it's always just been a gimmick to try to make more money.
Oh, it absolutely is. And I'm susceptible to the take my money when there's an alt cover that I like, you know. I
Occasionally you
don't
do get a
want
cool
to
one.
I don't want to purposefully go about like if you create multiple covers, like if like I'll pick the cover that I like best. Like
That's what I did with the Superman
so
Spider
the
crossover.
so main covers, 4 main covers. Just give me one main cover and don't give me like, and 3 incentive covers. Like I, and it seems like half the covers don't even match the storyline anymore. It used to be like the covers would match the storyline.
Yeah, now it's just random artwork.
Like, am I going to be getting the storyline that matches this cover? Am I going to see, I like this, like, just looks cool. Like we looked at the more traditional cover, but, what's the storyline I'm getting? And then for the incentive covers they have which I don't even know why this is listed as an incentive cover, but full art, no title cover of that one. And then, so is this a symbiote issue? Tell me what this is. A nice issue cover. That is a nice cover. I just want to know. Like, so let's see what the description of this issue is. When an old foe resurfaces, Spider-Man gets an assist from damage control. Don't they usually clean up after the fight?
Yes.
Meanwhile, learn more about Peter's mystery cousin and walk the road to Amazing Spider-Man 1000.
Oh, that's right. Have you heard about that? So basically,
no, I haven't.
May and Ben had a child that was stillborn before they adopted Peter.
Okay.
And now somehow that child lived and has grown up. So somebody
probably
at the
an alt universe version of the child. Oh, there's an idea. Somebody at the hospital. Give me your fan theory.
Oh, I have no idea. I'm going to let this one play out on its own because it's retconning like like when Lincoln March was retconned as Bruce Wayne's brother, when they retconned Blofeld to be James Bond's adopted brother. You know, when they retcon, I
Yeah.
hate retconning family members into storylines. I hate it.
I'm not a big fan of retcons. Like there's certain retcons I was looking forward to, like when we were like see, give, we, like when you saw hint back in the 90s that Peter Parker's family may have worked for Shield, and like there was more to Spider-Man than him getting bitten by a spider. You know, like I wanted kind of more about that, and I kind of wanted more about his missing family, you know, and they kind of dropped the ball on that storyline to a certain degree. I'm very curious. Is this going to be a black suit symbiote issue, or is that just goofing around? What is the
Well,
actual
considering you've also
storyline?
got the
Are we going to be
bombastic
getting a
Bagman
story?
on there, I would say it's just
Yeah,
cool art.
random art. Yeah, don't give me random art. If you're going to give me multiple covers, give me a cover that makes sense to the
Although I will
storyline. I
say
kind of like want to go.
the classic red and blue is without a doubt the GOAT Spider-Man suit. But my favorite
Yeah.
is the black and white.
Oh yeah. My favorite suit's always, but we grew up in that era, where, or at least did most of our teenage years and young teenage years in the black suit era. The original Secret Wars and that whole timeline before we got the symbiote suit.
Which, and yeah, I
Before
love
we
Venom.
knew it as.
I love
Oh
Venom, but
yeah,
because of
I do
him, we'll
too.
probably
I kind
never
of love
get
this storyline.
we'll probably never get Spider-Man in the black suit again long term just because of Venom.
Yeah, and usually when they do give us a black suit Spider-Man, they go, okay, well, he liked having a black suit because he didn't get seen at night. And okay, well, I get that. They kind of do that whole superheroes get different color suits for whatever different things that they're doing. I'm sorry, Peter Parker. If we're gonna do young Peter Parker, like they keep on going back to in the comic books, then just give him the one suit. He's a kid. I'm pretty sure he's not spending his time stitching together new suits all the time. Secondly, like if we're gonna keep him older, can't make him a bum if he's gonna be stitching together new suits for whatever purpose he's got going on. My thought process in the very least. Kind of want that cover though. Kind of want most of those covers. But definitely, I could deal with this one right here if but I kind of want to know like what's more going on. If we're gonna be if it's an issue where he's like trying to find out information about his cousin, I want to know a little bit. I do judge a book by its cover, and it's the first thing I look at when I'm buying these issues is like I kind of like the cover and it makes me want to read it.
Well, let me ask you this, because this is something they stopped doing. Are you pro or con word balloons on the cover?
On the cover, it all depends. If it builds and if it helps me want to get into the storyline. Otherwise, just give me some nice art for the cover. Let me read the story without having being led into it with word balloons. Personally,
Plus, that's just another way for them to
like
deceive you about what's inside.
Right, like with the splash issue, like kind of like having just like a little feel of what you're probably expecting, feeling the heat. I kind of like that, but like having like a piece of the story, like him like saying, "Gee whiz, it's hot," and or whatever, keep that out, off the cover. Just let me think, see what he's thinking or talking about in the storyline itself. I kind of like this little teasers when it comes to words though, like this.
Hmm. Little blurbs.
Seems to me more, yeah, like just a little bit more traditional covers. I'm a big fan of traditional covers.
Mm. I like.
Yeah.
Me too. I like nice clean art.
Yeah, like I can deal with like just kind of like so we got the bird, the bat, and the arrow. That's kind of cool too, but like having anything more than that is,
Yeah, thought and dialogue balloons would just clutter it up.
yeah, give me the art. I kind of like the cuz like say for example if I do get multiple versions of it and I want to have it not necessarily slabbed, but maybe uh framed up so that way I can put it on a wall,
Yeah,
and have it displayed in a certain way. Then I want to be able to go, hey, this is more than just a comic book. This is art to me. Yeah, this is the way I do my art. DC's always, for the most part, they found a way to keep the art kind of traditional, like kind of like, okay, you're not telling you too much. We're also not going to like steer you in other directions. Like right here, there's another take on the bird, the bat, and the arrow. Um,
Count Vertigo.
yeah. I don't know. I'm very simple when it comes to my art. Let's see, what do we got? What do we got coming up? We got Justice League Ultimate. Oh, Unlimited. Justice League Unlimited.
That's right. Where basically every character in DC is a member of the Justice League now.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much where they're going. Ooh, Ninja Turtles. Looks like a take on the Aceman layered art too.
Really?
A little bit more ripped though, like if Eastman and Laird did like an overly ripped version of their characters, I guess.
Hmm.
300th issue spectacular. I kind of like where ID Comics is going with the Ninja Turtles to a certain degree.
Oh yeah.
Not a big fan of that artwork. Off-putting to me.
Hmm.
I
I
grew
can't
up,
see it close
I
enough to.
also like Ken. Oh, let's see. Can I make it bigger? Boom. Does that make it bigger over there?
It
Yeah.
is a little. See, I'm not a big fan of cartoony comic book art.
Yeah, like especially when you try to do like sketchy cartoon, like I feel like if this were a cartoon, it'd be done by the people who did Rugrats, and like what I just can't, like, I'm not a big fan of that style art.
Yeah. Although, I mean,
Like,
I
give
also don't
me
like it when they try to go hyper realistic. For me, comic book art, there's a nice little sweet spot in the middle. You want the fantasy elements there, you want a little bit of realism, and then just call it quits.
hold on a second. We don't need women's product. Okay, there we go. All right, so here we go. I can take or leave this. I like the Turtles. Not a big fan of how they did April. For some reason, they made April O'Neil look like Mary Jane Watson.
Well, I mean,
Mm. She is a redhead.
She definitely needs the yellow jumpsuit there.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh, I'd go with the yellow jumpsuit, like from the video game cover, like from the 1980s arcade unit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or at least
a full on.
some variation of it.
What are we looking at here? Boom, 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 boom. Not a fan. All right, but like some of the art, like I get it. You got to get different covers. Not a fan of these all white covers that they try to do in comic books nowadays. Really,
Yeah, that's lazy bullshit.
only reason to have an all white cover. The only reason why to have an all white cover is if you have like an artist who's doing a like who took part in that issue is at like some sort of con and like he's doodling on the covers to give away with his autographs.
I can get behind
I
that.
don't like this.
But yeah, that would have to be like a
I don't
special
like this
variant
otherwise.
cover just for, call that the convention cover.
Stop giving me these ads. Nobody cares about your ads. The app does not give me ads in quite an annoying way. Stop advertising to me. I don't want your advertisements. Let's see. Anything in Lantern?
Was that
Let's
Kyle?
see.
What's going on with Kyle these days?
I don't. Kyle and Odyssey go terminally online. There's only one rule you need to abide by when going online, and Kyle just broke it. Don't feed the trolls. Takes on don't feed the trolls takes on new meaning when a series of death threats pointed at Odyssey reveal a malevolent force that doesn't take kindly to being mocked by Earth's Green Lantern.
Sounds like some comic book writer's self-insert story.
Yeah, somebody must have gotten themselves into a little Twitter trouble.
Yeah. They didn't like my book, so I'm going to make them the villain of the next issue.
Yeah.
You definitely need to have a thick skin to be a creative in the world of social media.
Yeah, especially if you're going to be sitting on Twitter. If you're going to be sitting on Twitter, you definitely want a little bit of a thick skin. Close out your advertisement. Advertisement here, advertisement there. How many advertisements can we fit on one page? Thank you.
I've got a theory
number
that
24, Legacy issue 4.
I've got a theory that 75% of the American economy is advertisement and insurance.
Yeah. See, I don't mind. I can ignore like 50% of the advertising. I grew up in a very advertising generation. I mean, most of us Generation Xers were used to commercials. We're used to a lot of this other stuff. So our generation kind of allowed for the advertising.
Yeah, well, it's gotten out of hand.
I want it. Why'd you make Wolverine's claws so small? Why is he like in mid chink? War of the Wounds, Wolverine. Healing is not just gone. Oh, his healing's not gone. His healing's gone. Oh my, I guess. When we're going back to that where he can't heal as well. It's okay. His healing's not just gone. It's stolen. But who's the mysterious Moore? And what is his aim for this most heinous form of identity theft? And when Alpha Flight makes the scene, oh yeah, I can tell it's an Alpha Flight. There's Puck right there. I was like, isn't that Puck? Why is Puck inside Wolverine's armpit?
Oh, speaking of which, did you watch the most recent issue of X-Men 97? Episode, I mean?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. I like I said, I gotta get my Disney Plus back so that way I can catch up on 97.
That was the first episode of X-Men 97 I flat out have not liked.
Oh, really? Was Alpha Flight in it?
Morph turned into Puck.
Oh,
So for half a second, I was like, wait, is Alpha Flight? And then, because he keeps doing that. Morph keeps changing into other heroes. And it catches me off guard every time. I'm like, why is Spider-Man in this? Oh, it's Morph. Why is Thor? Oh, it's Morph.
I'm not a big fan of Morph.
He was not very prevalent in the original series. He was in there for a couple of episodes. They killed him off, and then later they brought him back for a couple episodes, but he was never a big deal. Which I'm kind of okay with.
That's another thing. I'm like, didn't they also kill him off? But I'm gonna have to rewatch everything. You know, it's been a while since I've watched that series, and then I kind of like I watched through it late at night a couple of times before I lost my Disney Plus when the first season came out. But I got to really like sit and like pay attention to it because I wasn't really paying attention to it. Not a big fan of this Moon Knight drawing.
Yeah, I like his armor better when it's the solid white.
Yeah. I like the blade. We got a better image. Also not a fan.
I'll tell you what, one thing I really liked back from the Warren Ellis run was the three-piece suit, Mr. Knight.
Yeah, I like that. That was sleek. I liked that.
They used that in the Oscar Isaacs show on Disney Plus too.
They did, yeah. They didn't lean too heavily into it. They used it a few times, but for the most part, I liked it. It was sleek. It was something I like to see. Gambit. I feel like this is a rehash on a. They always do this exact pose on covers for Gambit. Like, okay, all right. Can we draw Gambit in a different pose, please?
Yep, the post-card fling, arms open.
Yeah. I get it. This is the only
it's
pose
either that or he's holding the playing
Gambit.
cards right up next to his face.
Yeah. I guess the artist is just like Liefeld. Liefeld does not know how to draw feet. At least they didn't give him pockets.
Poor Liefeld.
Yeah.
Although I think he's stepped up his feet drawing game a little bit just after all the backlash that he's gotten.
I think he probably has too. I think he's got doesn't he have a series that he's doing right now for Image?
I'm not sure.
I think he's with Image nowadays. I'm not sure.
I know he's not with Marvel. He's been talking too much shit.
Oh yeah, he's not too happy with Marvel. He's been talking a lot in that direction. Marvel Zero. What's this? Marvel Zero #1. Get a taste of what's to come from the year's biggest stories and events. The road to Amazing Spider-Man 1000 takes a big turn here as fate bears down on Peter Parker. The Queen in Black has the Queen of Black is coronated, and Mary Jane Watson as Venom. I heard that they were going to bring Mary Jane Watson in as Venom.
Oh, she's been Venom now for a while.
Oh, she has been? Okay. Mm-hmm. I have not been reading new issues, considering I kind of keep myself in the dollar bin. Paying $5 to $6 for a comic book is starting to like wear on my pocket.
It's harsh. Man. Although I'll tell you what, this Queen in Black thing I am interested in. Basically, Hela is gonna is either gonna join forces with Null or take over his position as the god of symbiotes. So I'm hoping that the execution is as interesting as the idea. But that comes out, I think, next week.
Yeah, I think I might want to, I guess I might end up having to get some new releases. Catch myself up on a few current storylines. Let's see, what do we got here for any ideas here with okay, so we got Venom, we got Spider-Man, we got Hulk. So we doing a gold look on Venom's thing now? Or is
Yeah,
this
ever
a
since
different
MJ
version
has
of
been,
symbiote?
ever since MJ was Venom, the symbol has been gold. Now,
Right.
personally, I think that Mary Jane with the Venom symbiote would have been a very interesting idea 25 years ago when Peter and Mary Jane were still a couple. Because, you
Yeah.
know, the symbiote loves and hates Peter. Mary Jane loves Peter. Peter loves and hates himself. So there had been a big love-hate triangle going on right there. And I think that would have been interesting. Now where Mary Jane is married to somebody else and blah, blah, blah. It just, I don't know. It just doesn't have the same impact.
I do not like that Red Hulk artwork. Somebody just okay, we're gonna take 5 minutes, a little bit of watercolor, and call it a day.
Well, to be fair, that's pretty much the thought process that went into creating Red Hulk. Sorry. Not a fan.
Oh, it looks like we got a few issues that I definitely want to get for covers. A couple issues I want to get to look into storylines. We got we leaning back into Gunslinger Spawn again.
Huh. That was, to me, that was the most interesting aspect of Spawn. I know there are people who love Spawn. I think Spawn, the actual series, wasn't very good, but the character itself is. But the fact that there have been multiple different Spawns throughout history, I think, is a very interesting idea.
I think that's a great idea
Spawn,
too.
Medieval Spawn, and a couple of others.
I like the concept as well of having different versions. I mean, after all, Spawn is virtually images take on the Ghost Rider in a sense, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I kind and if you kind of go with that kind of idea, there's always going to be one,
Yeah. Plus, he's their
a bunch of
flagship
titles
character.
I wouldn't mind getting. Some titles I don't see myself getting, but King Spawn. What do we got? Harley Quinn. Oh, Swamp Thing. We're doing Swamp Thing again? Last time I read Swamp Thing, I think they brought him over to what, Vertigo for a bit?
Yeah, I think they had like Alan Moore write him.
Yeah.
I think
that was the last time I really read Swamp Thing.
No, I've got his Animal Man run. I don't have his Swamp Thing.
Okay, so the child is born, and all of hell is licking its chops after over 3 decades of anticipation. Rick Veitch's legendary finale to Swamp Thing, the Swamp Thing saga explodes. The child is born. I can't even read this morning. Oh, got to put on my glasses here. I feel old. Don't want to have to put on my glasses. The Swamp Thing saga explode. The child is born. Anton Arcane. It has slithered out of hell to claim them as his final prize. Can John Constantine and Abby's closest friends protect their baby? Will the fate of the world be tipped into the abyss of the unallied hatred, or will Swamp Thing do whatever it takes to return to his loved ones and save them from Arcane's clutches? So this is going to be a Constantine issue. I like Constantine stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
I
it might
really
be one for
enjoyed
me to
the
get
Constantine
in.
show with Matt Ryan.
Oh yeah.
I wish that had gotten another.
So do you think they'll ever do another Constantine movie? They keep on talking about it.
I don't. Keanu Reeves keeps on talking about it.
Yeah.
But I personally don't think it'll happen as long as James Gunn is in charge of DC. That's my prediction.
Probably not. Probably
Because
probably not.
he's got his pet projects on the line.
Another number one. And we're going back to the Hellfire Club. X-Men of the Hellfire Murder. When an iconic mutant power player is murdered at an exclusive masquerade hosted by Sebastian Shaw, it falls to Wolverine and Jubilee to solve the locked room mystery that has dire consequences for mutant kind. Everyone is a suspect, and the party isn't over. Oh, those storylines get old.
Yep, because I want my future depending on Jubilation Lee being a detective.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, these just like murder mystery dinner stories, and those are overplayed. I think they kind of like been leaning too far into the Hellfire Club stuff, in the wrong direction.
You mean like the Hellfire Gala?
Yeah.
I've heard that's
Just a little
very
too far
unpopular with X-Men fans.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Wonder Man. Did you ever get into Wonder Man? I really couldn't get into Wonder Man.
Are you talking about the character from the comics or the MCU Disney Plus show?
I didn't even watch the Disney Plus show. There's one
Don't.
I missed too. I gotta.
It's terrible.
Don't.
It was so boring.
Yeah.
I will say I did enjoy. I do enjoy Ben Kingsley as Trevor Slattery, but
Oh yeah, I heard they brought him back for Trevor Slattery back. Yeah, I understand like why people didn't like him. You know, I mean, being a fake version of
the Mandarin.
Of the Mandarin, you know, but whew, I like him. I just like him as an actor. He's just, you know, it was humorous. And then with the short that they did before they did
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. Yeah. Yeah, I like that little short. I think I wouldn't mind to get on this.
My biggest problem with the Wonder Man series, Disney Plus show, was the whole thing was about Hollywood. The whole show was about him wanting to be an actor. So it was just like all this Hollywood inside baseball and almost no super stuff.
Yeah. Since I couldn't get into Wonder Man, half the time it was like I feel like when I read the comic books back in the day, you know, I felt like okay, you know, he was just an actor constantly going to malls and doing autograph signings and hanging out with some kid that I guess he had a thing with his mother, the kid's mother, and like all of a sudden, like some random mutant or villain would just start rampaging through LA. And then, oh, I guess I got to do this instead of signing autographs. And it seemed like his character was just kind of annoyed of having to do superhero stuff.
Yeah, yeah. His primary focus was always on trying to get famous and be an actor. In the stuff I
Yeah,
read, but
yeah, one of the reasons why I couldn't get into him was the same reason why I couldn't get into She-Hulk. She-Hulk was like always annoyed of having to do superhero stuff. And that's the same thing I didn't like about him. I feel like they just like kind of took like the same concept when they were doing the characters and just say, okay, we're gonna have a character that just doesn't want to be a superhero. Well, then don't do superhero stuff. Keep it to yourself.
pretty much.
you know, uh, you know, eh, the whiny characters who are always complaining about having to do their thing. Well, then don't do that. Don't hang out with the Avengers.
Yeah,
Moonstar.
the reluctant hero thing only really
Yeah.
works at like the beginning of a character arc.
Yeah.
It's hard to maintain an interesting character who is constantly bitching about the thing that you're showing up to read about.
I think I spent a lot of time on here. I was complaining about the stuff. I just realized we were going at an hour and a half. So we're gonna leave that. I kind of got wrapped up in covers and whatnot. So the other two things I wanted to talk about was Marvel's making two big moves right now. Um, we kind of touched on one last week where Marvel Comics is going to be going into Webtoons and potentially like limiting their runs of what they're printing. Allegedly, who knows if that's going to happen because we know that Marvel wants to make money off of the collectors, so they're going to probably keep printing, just probably looking into other formats. And with them joining forces with Webtoons, they're going to be uh, putting some of the lines on more of a manga style format for people reading on their phones. And DC did this with the Bat Family, turning it into a Spice of Life comic, and not really anything to do with Batman. I haven't been really reading them because I'm not a big fan of the webtoon stuff and the direction that they're going. And they did I think it's like Ultimate X-Men or something in a webtoons format, which is interesting, but I'm not a big fan of the anime style artwork with my comic book characters because it's kind of like a little uncanny valley for me seeing them in one art form as opposed to the other that I'm used to.
I can see that. My big thing about the webtoons is if you do all your comics as webtoons, you're going to kill the collector market. Digital comics will never appreciate in value. You can't, put them in your long box, and they also fall prey to the same kind of licensing issues that digital download games come from. If they don't feel like streaming your particular favorite comic anymore, you will lose that comic forever and ever.
That's been a big conversation in our circle lately. Theta and I covered on Wednesday of last week. We covered the downfall of digital media, particularly with Sony and a lot of the big film companies as well. Sony has discontinued their production of a lot of their DVDs. They've closed down all but one of their manufacturing plants that create DVD-ROM players. And now they're talking about closing down by 2028 the rest of their production facilities that make the CDs themselves, not just print the movies on the CDs, but the production facilities that make the CDs. So games and movies as of 2028 from Sony will be completely out of it.
I think Sony's
So
going to find
if you
themselves
are
losing
a fan
quite
of
a
the
bit of money.
Spider-Man stuff, Sony might find themselves losing a lot of money, but at the same time, I'm not sure how much money they're going to lose, considering Sony has been historically a manufacturing company over entertainment provider. Uh, and I think that's where Sony's, based off of the articles I've been reading, that Sony's banking their money on is to keep making tech, but not the same kind of tech that we've been seeing. And but throughout the decades that I remember, from Sony Discmans, Sony Walkman cassette players to uh, uh, DVD players and Blu-ray players and what have you, Sony's big product line has been physical media playing devices. It would seem to me that you want to keep into that industry. I wouldn't know where they were going, where they'd move their forces to,
Unless they're going
according
to
to one of the articles.
unless they're going to move it
Sorry.
strictly into their entertainment division, like their movie studios, their
Ye-
music studios, those kind of things. They might just be going strictly into producing media.
They might, in that case scenario. It seems they've already released like their numbers, since they've limited their physical media runs, which they announced in 2016 that they were going to have it, like their physical media end by 2021. But then the pandemic hit, and there was a big old boost in people buying physical media. But there was also, at that point in time during the pandemic, a big old boost in people using digital, from digital shipping down to digital movie watching, with the height of the subscription everything era. What I call the subscription everything pandemic. And for Sony, it made a lot of money, and they've been advertising a lot of money in their subscription stuff. So much, in fact, that they've already had 2 price hikes on their PS Plus gaming and movie accounts. They've even limited their prints on DVDs. I mean, we've saw this with companies like Best Buy and whatnot, limiting what they're selling. They used to be like half the store at Best Buy was like DVD and VHS, and then like we used to go to places that you were very familiar with, like Blockbuster Video, and
Oh yes,
like these video shops are going to close down. It's going to hurt the retailer. It's going to hurt the market in the long run. When it comes down, like, they're going to lose a lot of money, more than just private consumers. They're going to lose the market on sales for like these companies, these places that are few and far between nowadays, because of limiting physical media. But now Disney has decided to lean into the same direction with removing their physical media, and they've announced that they're going to cut down their physical media yet once again. There is some physical media that Disney and Universal's going to keep going with the physical media a little bit longer. But Disney is like saying, okay, we're only going to do physical media on certain things, limited release. And those will probably be like collectible covers of things, and for those few people who are going to complain about it for the time being, I think they're going to keep that going. But with the comic books now entering Webtoons, do you think that'll like ultimately hurt the comic book industry?
I think it'll hurt the current issue comic book industry, because you won't have anything new to put out in stores physically. However, existing back
If
issues,
they lean heavily into it,
right?
yeah.
Existing back issues will still exist. I think those will go up a lot in value because there won't be any more being put out. So I think the secondhand market will thrive, but I think the new market, it will definitely hurt.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely hurt the new market temporarily, unlike with the direction that like a lot of the media companies are going, Disney and Sony, and with film and whatnot. I don't think that they're going to be able to eliminate the print runs entirely. I think it'll hurt Marvel to a point that they don't want to hurt Marvel anymore, and if they haven't realized it already, because this is a medium that's been going on since the 40s, if not longer, in certain areas, and they've been trying to kill the newspaper. They said that the newspaper would die with the creation of radio. They said that that radio would die with the creation of television, and they said that public television would die with streaming networks. And we still got all that. I think that that they're going to see a change. They're going to like lean into certain storylines for the digital media on the webtoons, but I don't think that they're going to be able to cancel it out in its entirety.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
but that's just me being optimistic.
The Amazon tried to do something with digital comics. They bought, I think it was Comixology during the pandemic, and ran it so hard into the ground that Amazon doesn't even use it anymore. So hopefully, if
we got Theta in chat, Theta just popped in the chat, just says, "Hey there, guys! I was stopping in to leave a like and share. Thank you, Theta. Thank you, and do what Theta says. Share out the post and subscribe. Sorry,
and buy physical media."
Oh yeah, absolutely. Definitely buy physical media. Theta just released a T-shirt that I recommend everybody get from his merch shop. Usually I recommend people go to mine, but I'm going to recommend people go to his for this one. But he's released a buy physical media T-shirt. I really like it. I'm going to get a copy of it myself. But yeah, I don't know. People need to keep the physical media going. I feel like people are, particularly with books, people are reading less. Like while I don't like to grab a Kindle or read on my phone or read on a tablet. It hurts my eyes after a while. Like looking at screens all day long as it is. Then if you have a job at a desk, you're looking at screens. You go home and you turn on the TV and you look at a screen, and there's something about being able to just grab a book, grab a comic book, grab a magazine, and be able to read something.
Yep.
And just go, okay, here I'm going to slip off into my own little world and fall asleep with the magazine on my face, with the comic, fall asleep with Wolverine just crushing my face because I passed out with a comic book or a good graphic novel.
Trust me, I've got many a creased comic from my childhood because I fell asleep reading
it. Yeah, I mean, I really want to be optimistic and say that physical media isn't going to kill comic books. I mean, digital media is not going to kill comic books. Plus, also, I'm not a big fan of Webtoons. I'm not a big fan of their format. They released a Spice of Life Batman series called the Bat Family, and it's like no action whatsoever. A lot of these people who read Webtoons will really want more of a manga style and very certain genres of manga when they pick up Webtoons. And Webtoons' whole concept when they came out was like for independent creators to get their stuff out there, so that way they have a venue to put their independent comics, particularly independent mangas, out there. I mean, we had One Punch Man, which started out as a Webtoon series to a certain degree, and or got a big in America, at least, not in Japan. But and like the whole concept of the webtoons was just like manga, where it's something small and you can put it in your pocket and you can read it on the subway while you're commuting. That was the whole concept of the webtoons, is that it was right there and you didn't have extra stuff to carry with you when you're traveling. And now that's a good part of the concept. I just not a big fan of as a human being, of having to bring like half a collection with me when I go travel and go, hey, I'm definitely going to be wanting to read these, because I know I'm going to be stopping off into some random town when I'm traveling, and go, okay, I'm going to hit up a comic book shop in this town and come back with a half of a suitcase full of dollar bin items.
Yep. Every city I go to, I map out the comic shops around where I'm staying.
Right, so I'm optimistic that webtoons isn't going to hurt Marvel, or well, personally, print comic books. I think that it's going to continue on for a little while longer, at least through the end of my lifespan. I'm optimistic for that.
Yeah, well, it's going to come down to this: if they try it out and they lose money, they're either going to drop comics completely or they're going to go back to print. They're going to follow the money. And if they think comics is more trouble than it's worth, they'll just drop it. And they'll print like
Yeah,
Spider-Man and the Avengers and maybe some Captain America, but that'll probably be it.
right.
They'll probably just kill
I
anything that doesn't fly off
definitely.
the shelves.
That's gonna be a thing. I think first of all, if the line doesn't sell, don't print it. Have the characters in those lines as secondary characters. Like, we don't need you, Disney, stop trying this. We don't need any Squirrel Girl stuff. Squirrel Girl keeps on failing when they try to release her. uh uh I understand you want to promote your product to girls, get a larger female audience,
Squirrel
but
Girl
the
is not the
audience
way.
isn't there. Yeah, Squirrel Girl is not the way. I am deathly opposed to Squirrel Girl.
And there's
Like
just some
I
characters that work better as supporting characters,
yeah, yeah.
or at the very least in limited runs. Like for me, this is going to be an unpopular take. You're probably going to get some hate mail for this, but I don't think the Punisher should have an ongoing series. The only outcome to any Punisher story is either Punisher kills all the bad guys or the bad guys kill Punisher. And it's the Punisher's book, so we know that last one's not going to happen. But
right.
in limited runs, I think the Punisher can be very effective. Or, showing up to cause trouble in somebody else's book, the Punisher is very effective. But I don't think he works for an ongoing multi-decade series.
Yeah. I can agree with you on that. Absolutely. There's a lot of other characters as well. Like, unfortunately, the same is also said about the Silver Surfer, even though he's one of my favorite characters. Part of the reason why they keep on ending his series as well is because, while I'm a big Silver Surfer fan, a lot of people don't like Silver Surfer comics. I've been told by a lot of people that the Silver Surfer is boring, and I disagree, but
Give me their
I
names and
disagree
addresses.
completely. Yeah, I know, right? But I kind of resonate with the Silver Surfer. I'm a loner, and the Silver Surfer is like the epitome of loner stories, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yep, he's the
Quiet,
ultimate road
simple.
tripper.
Yeah, and he's the ultimate road tripper. Yeah, yeah, but but like, for the most part, like, until he like comes across that asteroid and you see a villain or somebody or whatever, there's not really much going on in his life.
Yep.
I mean, he's got a simple life for a superhero. And a lot of people don't like the internal monologuing and very of action that he puts you through until like you get like some saga like the Infinity Wars and the Infinity Crusades, or the not the Infinity Crusades, that was freaking Gold Boy.
Warlock.
But Warlock, yeah. But like Infinity Gauntlet, a lot of people forget that like he's got like a lot of crucial stuff in the Marvel universe, that when he's not just running around space um, by himself thinking.
Yeah,
But
and
I do
anything stuff pops off in outer space that the Earth heroes need to know about, Silver Surfer is always the one that comes and brings the news.
right, but I do understand why they keep on ending these series, is these lines, these storylines that don't really have a big pull. The stories don't go too far. You can't really do much with them. Uh, there's no use printing those. Put a lot of those lines, unless they're like something that like you have a big call for. Like give me Silver Surfer in a series of mini series. I'm cool with that. I'm still gonna
Yeah,
buy it. Squirrel Girl, put her on Webtoons if you want to push Squirrel Girl Disney. Uh, uh, heck, we can keep She-Hulk in print. You can put Wonder Man in Webtoons. While I feel the same about Wonder Man as I feel about She-Hulk, at least She-Hulk has a buyer base, where
that's
I
true.
don't see Wonder Man as really having a buyer base.
I think She-Hulk is. They've done more to develop her as a character than they did Wonder Man. I think Wonder Man got stuck in that vain Hollywood wannabe, and they just
Yeah,
never moved him out of it.
yeah. Now, which brings us to the final point of the afternoon or morning, depending on where you're at in the world. Marvel Comics is making a second move, not only just to Webtoons, but Disney Marvel has announced that due to multiple reasons, they are going to be relocating, and they're saying the primary reason they're going to be relocating Marvel Comics to Los Angeles. They're saying that the primary reason is to make sure that everything's under one roof. But there's speculation that it's because of recent taxing laws that were placed in New York City by Mayor Madani, where they're taxing all these major corporations
Well, okay,
out the
but
backside.
if you're going to run away from high taxes, why the hell would you run to California?
Yeah. Uh,
Go to Georgia. That's where you
uh,
make the movies actually get filmed in Georgia at the Pine.
right, or at least Florida. I don't understand why Disney hasn't just like I mean they're trying they made such good friends with Florida after all. It's not like Riddy Creek was a big issue, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Oy.
if you want your stuff under one roof, why are they moving things to Florida? Well, I mean, California. Well, they want things under one roof, is what they're saying. And then there's also the whole New York taxation on the big companies things. But Marvel has announced that they're moving to LA, which will include the paid relocation of many of their artists and writers.
Well, at least the weather will be better.
Uh, yeah. The comic book company is replacing their editor in chief, moving 100 employees from New York City to Burbank, California as of 2027. Now, their editor, Stephen Wacker, what a name, uh, is being replaced and or is going to take over. Sorry, Stephen Wacker is going to be taking over as editor in chief for CB Sabluski, who is moving to Japan on the role of editor for Asia Comics. But this whole move to Los Angeles to be under one roof, I'd be like, you're just moving from one place to another that's virtually got the same kind of stuff. And they're only doing it, in my opinion, is because the original Disneyland is there, Disneyland #1, Anaheim.
Well, plus, I mean, they've got Pixar. I actually no, Disney did move some of their, or they were talking about it at one point. Was talking about moving a lot of their California operation to Florida because of the high tax rates in California.
Right. So part of Pixar is in Florida, part of Pixar is in California, and then part of Pixar is in Klamath Falls, Oregon. So, like there's like their studio and like the Pixar studio, they had it like back when Steve Jobs owned into Pixar and it was his baby. They were in Oregon doing a lot of the stuff there, and because it was very close to that whole area in California where like Steve Jobs was dealing with all of the Silicon Valley stuff,
Right.
and they opened up a Los Angeles the thing and brought everything to WED over at Walt Disney Enterprises and Development, and made it part of the animation studios and in LA. And so then they had the 2 locations, and then they like 2 years ago like started doing a lot of stuff in Florida. But even then, yeah, I agreed. Bring it to Georgia, I think it's time that Hollywood needs to make a move out of Southern California. I don't like going back to Southern California. I can be okay with a brand new Walk of Fame in a new state.
Yep.
I mean, when I go to New York, I don't think of Desilu Productions and RKO Radio anymore. They moved to California for similar reasons back in the 50s and 60s. So why not finalize that move, especially since everybody else is doing so? I mean, you have a lot of actors who've opened up their own production studios and moved them out of state.
A lot of animation has moved out of California.
A lot of voiceover companies like Funimation, they do their American voiceover work in Texas.
Yeah, and like 75% of the movies that come out these days are filmed in right outside of Atlanta, Georgia. Very few movies are filmed in California anymore.
And we all know this because
with a tourist attraction. Have tours of the Warner Brothers studio lots, the Walk of Fame, all the Hollywood sign, Grauman's Chinese Theater, have all that stuff be a tourist attraction, and then have all the day-to-day business of Hollywood go to Georgia, where they're actually making the stuff anyway.
You're of my generation. We still call it Grauman's Chinese Theater.
Yep. What is it? Why? What is it now?
Or we were doing it. It was Mann's Chinese Theater for a while. It was Grauman's Chinese Theater. I'm not sure what they call it now. I think it's something else now. TCL Chinese Theater is what it's called now.
So it's changed ownership a couple times, I guess.
Yeah. Wikipedia still has it listed as Grauman's Chinese Theater, then and Mann's Chinese Theater. The change of names, I tell you what, at least it still has that look, though.
The same one that they showed at the end of Blazing Saddles.
Yeah. classic. Um, but used to go down there all the time when I was living in Southern California, hang out over in that area. You know, love to go to the Wax Museum over at Madame Tussauds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So big moves for Disney. That's what we had for you today. You know, we had a huge talk about comic books I'm probably not going to be able to afford, but I want anyway, and I'm definitely going to be looking forward to them dropping in price so they hit that dollar bin, and definitely going to be looking forward to seeing where this new movie goes. For those people joining us tomorrow, I will be talking about depending on who I get to show up tomorrow. If I'm able to get anybody to show up, should I be streaming tomorrow morning, I'll be talking about the Avengers movie. Gonna like not necessarily talk about the leaks because I've already done quite a bit of that with some of the other channels I've been on, but I will be talking about the trailer and what I like about it, and my little fan theory about where the leaks necessarily go with where the trailer is. I'm a little bit more positive about it now that I saw the trailer that they did, and I think the only reason why they released the trailer within the last 2 weeks was because of the leaks personally, and I'll get into that tomorrow on my little theory about that as well. Previously on just some of my other random lives I covered the teaser trailers that centered around just like Steve Rogers, Thor, and a couple of the other teaser trailers that they did that weren't really trailers for this movie, just wanted to give hype and build up for what they were going to do for Doomsday. So I look forward to that conversation tomorrow. Dan, what do you got going on this week?
Well, I've got a whole bunch of family here, so just taking care of business as usual. Got my niece and nephew here. Got 7 people in the house, 4 dogs. So just cooking and cleaning all day.
That's called a packed household.
Yes. And it's exhausting, but that's what I live for.
Wow. Yeah. So Phantom quote said in chat, it doesn't matter where they move because it won't change the dearth of creativity they have. So yeah, probably I think like with Disney making a move, I don't think it's going to change much if they move to LA, or if they move Marvel to Florida. Wouldn't matter in the long run. It's still going to be business as usual. For me, I don't have much going on. I'm just going to be hanging out with Theta for most of the week. To Wednesday night, on top of what we talked about, what I'm going to be talking about on Wednesday morning. Wednesday night, Theta and I are going to be covering how physical media is going to affect the YouTuber and content creator. Also, I'm going to bring up a couple of points about where YouTube wants to take the digital landscape in the lines of media, and the potential that YouTube may end up wanting to charge space for small content creators that are not getting views. Everything's becoming pay to play. Look forward to that on Wednesday night on Theta of Nerd Archaeology's channel, Nerd Archaeology. Thursday night, I'll be hanging out with Mr. DJ Longhair for a little MTG roundtable, and that'll cover some of the new Magic the Gathering stuff, particularly with the Star Trek Magic the Gathering drop that we covered last week when we looked at some of the cards that they released. I was not a big fan of the artwork. I feel like they did Star Trek dirty, and they did my 7 of 9 dirty. So look forward to that Thursday night at 8 o'clock Eastern time. And Mondays, Theta and I do a game night. We're going to be going back to Ninja Turtles again this coming Monday, because we want to beat the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge in gnarly mode. And I'm going to see how my fully upgraded, he's advanced himself, but we've fully advanced Casey to level 10. So we're going to see if I can do any better at the game with Casey at level 10. So see you then. Here is our theme song. I really appreciate it. Hey, Dan, thanks for joining me again today.
Of course, man. How's the ball?
And here's our new version of our theme song with the one and only Dollar Bin Dan finally added into our theme song, and references to him, and the new animation of him driving his red 1950 Chevrolet pickup down Route 66.
Welcome, travelers. The coffee's hot. The signal is coming through. It's time for morning dive and a coffee. Woo! Wake up screaming through the morning haze. Sun's coming up on the old highway. Chrome shining bright on a brand new day. Pull into the diner, take a seat inside. Coffee on the table, join us for the ride. Caffeinated frequencies, it's just right. Neon signs glowing in the morning sun. Another day starting, another adventure's begun. There's a cowboy broadcasting from far away with 1,000-year story to tell today. Cowboy Dan signal crosses the line from the year 3020 back through time. A head in a jar with a dream to share. Sending stories through the digital air. Morning dive and a coffee. Pull up a chair and spend some time. Morning dive and a coffee. Pour another cup, let the conversation roll. Memories, new stories, and a curious soul. From the open road to the edge of the sky, we're taking the dive, so come along for the ride. Morning dive and a coffee. Fuel the machine and ignite the day. Morning dive and a coffee. Around the corner comes the morning's crew. Familiar faces with a story or two. Dollar Bin Dan's got treasures to share. Comic book memories floating through the air. Flipping through pages, chasing the past. Finding old heroes that forever last. From classic adventures and legends untold to the stories that made us brave and bold. Around this Route 66 diner table we meet with coffee, laughter, and a front row seat. No map required, no road signs needed. Just follow the stories wherever they're leading. From the cartoon realm where the impossible lives, to the future where the signal still gives. A little bit cowboy, a little bit strange. 1,000 years later, some things never change. The wheels keep turning, the radio plays. We're chasing memories through the highways. Morning dive and a coffee. Pull up a chair and spend some time. Morning dive and a coffee. Coffee cups shaking, the jukebox sings. Talking about heroes and forgotten things. Through every story, every laugh, every mile, the morning keeps rolling with a classic style. Morning dive and a coffee. Join the ride and stay a while. Morning dive and a coffee. The coffee is hot. This is Morning Dive and a Coffee.